Altcoins finally waking up, and a $5 trillion alt season could be coming to a market near you. The rotation has already slowly started to begin from Bitcoin into altcoins, but here's what you're not being told. This isn't 2021, okay? This time, it's bigger, smarter, and more strategic. That doesn't mean this time is different. It means the market's maturing, which has happened before to other asset classes. This cycle, we've got more liquidity, better infrastructure, and booming on-chain activity. So let me show you why this might actually be the beginning of a different kind of alt season and how to play it right before the crowd catches on, the herd shows up and buys the top. You don't want to buy the top. Okay, markets have moved significantly, but there's still a lot of opportunity. The stage is currently being set. Right now, altcoins outside of the top 10, the others chart, just broke above the $300 billion market cap. That's still 40% off the 2021 all-time highs. There's a lot more tokens now, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. And let's not forget that back then, this same segment of the market went from 10 billion to over 400 billion in less than a year. You could have just blindly bought any altcoin basically back then and made money. And that happened without half the tools we've got now. And everything's better. The fundamentals are better. The regulations are better. Everything's better. Investors aren't just speculating on white papers anymore. I mean, we're buying meme coins now, aren't we? I guess it's worse, better. I don't know. The market now has tons of DeFi apps and DEXs, yield platforms, all kinds of stuff. You name it. People are actually using this stuff this time around. On-chain activity is insane. There's a ton of fresh liquidity flowing into the market too. We have new stable coins coming from big banks. Real world assets is nuts. And here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Bitcoin dominance just broke a 1,000-day uptrend after peaking at 66% on June 28th. It's already down over 7% to around 61% at the time of recording this video. That's not a small move, because that kind of breakdown, that doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not just a technical glitch on a chart. It's a massive signal. Now, can Bitcoin dominance reverse and fake everybody out? Of course it can. But likely we have an altcoin rally. Historically, capital rotates like this. Bitcoin rallies first, then Ethereum starts outperforming, then altcoin floodgates open up, and right now this pattern could be repeating. Analyst Willy Woo is calling for altcoin season already. He says the launch pad of Ethereum firing is normally the prelude. Good word, prelude. Prelude. Anyway, ETH is taking the lead while Bitcoin has been relatively chilling in that sort of 16 to 120K so range, consolidating higher near its all-time high, which is, by the way, bullish. But at the same time, in the same period, Bitcoin's been going kind of sideways. Ethereum went up about 22%. The ETH-BTC ratio soared. Bitcoin has been more stable, and ETH has been taking over. A sign that altcoin risk-taking is heating up. ETH is getting bid, mid-caps are starting to pop, smaller caps are waking up. You can feel the excitement in the air. The want to believe. This is the calm before the big altcoin storm. Fingers crossed, we hope. Now let's talk about where the firepower for this altcoin season is coming from. But before we do, guys, do you want to make $1,299 from just depositing some crypto? Well, Femex has got you covered. This is a limited time promotion, gives you $200 back on a $1,000 deposit, $999 back on a $10,000 deposit, and a massive $1,299 back on a $15K deposit. That's cold hard cash money, man. Okay, not some mystery token. That's paid back in cash, and there's more. You'll instantly also, when you use the link right down below here, be upgraded to VIP level 2. That unlocks 50% off of your spot fees, 40% off of your futures fees. That's insane savings every time you trade. Best part, this offer is available to anyone, anywhere. That means you might need a VPN in some cases, okay? But no matter where you live, you can use Femex. Now, click the link down below, deposit, and start trading today. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to this conversation. Look, liquidity drives everything. And in just 1 week in July, we saw over $2 billion in fresh USDT and USDC hitting major chains and exchanges. 895 million went into Binance, 819 million into HTX. Lots of money onto Solana and stuff as well. This isn't just retail traders dropping a few bucks in. This is whale and institutional ammo being loaded. And they're not just buying Bitcoin anymore. Oh, they're still buying Bitcoin. Don't be mistaken. But they're positioning for the next wave in the market. ETF flows have shown that too. We actually had a day where we had $70 million of outflows from Bitcoin and $500 million inflows into Ethereum ETFs. So anyway, the $2 billion on exchanges though, that's going to move into altcoins, at least to some extent. Tether's treasury printing again with the supply of USDT reaching $160 billion, another signal of capital preparing for higher beta risk. At the same time, Bitcoin whale deposits are down to $2.25 billion. That means the whales are not rushing to sell. Instead, they're either waiting or accumulating or both, signaling that the top isn't in. By the way, I believe the next top comes in around $150,000. Local top, not the top, but the local top around the 2.618 Fibonacci line. A lot more confidence is coming back in the market, and when confidence comes back in, that enables more capital to rotate into the rest of the market. Those Ethereum ETFs are booming, over $4 billion in inflows in the past 2 weeks. That's insane. From basically zero inflows at the start of the year to $4 billion in the last 2 weeks, this is a major shift in attention. So just how big could this altcoin season go? Well, let's look at the total two. That's the market cap of everything excluding Bitcoin. Total two just hit $1.5 trillion. It's the highest level since January and less than 15% away from the all-time high of $1.72 trillion. Now, if it manages to close this month above 1.51 trillion level, it would be the highest close in altcoin market history. That's huge, and that's not a top. We're not even at the previous high watermark yet, okay? We will break out and have new highs. Now, the monthly close at that level will be a very bullish technical move here as well. Now, let's strip out Ethereum 2 from this and look at the total 3. It's everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Total 3 is currently sitting around $1 trillion. Some analysts are predicting a 400% rally on this, which I could totally see, bringing us closer to a $5 trillion cap for all the crypto coins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now that might sound crazy, but if you've been here before, you know how fast these things move when liquidity starts flooding in. The rally isn't slow, it's wild and parabolic and nuts. It's a wild place to be. The altcoin season index backs this up too. The 30-day index just crossed the 75 mark, which is usually the first real sign that capital is starting to rotate into altcoins. But the 60-day index is still subdued, meaning only a small percentage of altcoins have actually outperformed Bitcoin over a longer time frame. So that tells us we're still early to the move. Okay, this is the once in every so often moment when you get to make a lot of money in altcoins if you're positioned right and if you take the risks early enough. We're not deep into altcoin season yet by any means. Look how many coins are still below their all-time highs. Here's the parts no one's talking about. Timing is everything. By the time your group chat starts asking if they should buy XRP or the latest meme coin, or your uncle's calling you asking what dog coin to buy, you're already late. And by the way, this is already happening with XRP specifically. Not to say it can't go higher, but a big part of the move was already had. The biggest altcoin gains don't happen during the hype, they happen before it. You need to position yourself before everyone in your timeline's talking about it, which means being contrarian and believing in something. Smart money is either well positioned already or making their moves now while things are still heating up below the surface. That means early stages for smart entries still exist for a lot of coins. But if you wait till later when it feels safe, when everything's pumping and everybody's jumping in the water, you'll be exit liquidity, guaranteed. Don't do it. 2, not all the altcoins will fly. This is not 2021. Back then, anything with a ticker would pump, but now it's survival of the fittest. There are thousands of zombie coins out there and new tokens floating around that you should absolutely not be buying. No developers, no liquidity, no roadmap, no strong community, just slow rugs, fast rugs, all the bullshit. They won't pump, they'll just dump. This cycle will reward investors who have done their research, who know what they're buying and why. So focus on finding a small group of high conviction plays, narratives with traction, tokens with strong communities, and those with thriving on-chain activity. 3, liquidity follows narratives. Every cycle has its themes, okay? Right now, the big sectors the market absolutely loves: artificial intelligence, real-world assets, DeFi, and memes, okay? People aren't rushing to buy layer 2 governance tokens and shit like that. These are the categories that are attracting the most attention and, most importantly, the most capital. Okay, so don't just follow the narrative, verify the fundamentals, because if a project isn't shipping, guess what? It's just a pump waiting to dump on you. You want to ride the wave, not get smashed into the reef, okay? So don't just ape into stuff randomly, strategically scale in and out of things, have a plan and have a reason why you're buying stuff. It needs to be better than just, oh, I heard some guy talk about it on the internet for 10 seconds. Good God, man, it's your money. Treat it with respect. Stay rational. Don't chase massive green candles. There are always pullbacks. There are always entries to be made, okay? Look, this altcoin season might look in some ways different from the last one, to the institutional flows and stuff like that. Maybe it's just telling you to be more strategic, more selective. Thanks for watching.